At first, it didn't look like anything, just data, just noise, until it started repeating. And repetition means intention. This is Project Anoxia, Chapter 2, Containment. The first internal escalation did not use the word crisis. It used the word containment. At 0740 UTC, a revised report compiled from Layla Rahmani's data and cross-verified against 12 additional monitoring stations, was circulated within a restricted network of environmental and defense agencies. The document was labeled Preliminary Irregularity Assessment. It was not classified, not yet, but access required clearance. The summary was brief. It avoided definitive statements. It did not reference projections. It did not mention atmospheric implications. It described the anomaly as localized deep ocean oxygen depletion with unidentified gaseous byproduct. The final line read, "Further observation required before escalation." By 0915 UTC, the document had reached 3 ministries in 3 different countries. By 0932, it had been forwarded to a 4th. By 10:05, it had been discussed, briefly, on a secure call. No one on that call used the word irreversible. They asked procedural questions: data integrity, sensor calibration, possible contamination. One participant suggested a software error. Another suggested tectonic interference. Layla Rahmani was not invited. At 11:20 UTC, a secondary report was requested. Not from Layla, from a separate analytics team tasked with independent verification. They were given the same data, with one difference. The projection models were removed. At 1300 UTC, Layla received a system notification. Access to predictive modules temporarily suspended pending audit. No explanation followed. She attempted to reopen her previous simulations. The files were still there, but the outputs had been replaced. Flat lines. No decline, no acceleration, no anomaly. As if the system had never processed anything unusual. Layla sat very still. Then she checked the raw data again. It had not changed. The oxygen levels were still dropping. At 1412 UTC, the 12th station reported a deviation, this time significantly outside acceptable variance. The system flagged it for 1.2 seconds, then reassigned the threshold. Layla watched it happen. She did not move, did not speak, did not react immediately, because she understood what that meant. The system was not malfunctioning. It was being instructed. By 1700 UTC, the anomaly no longer existed, on paper. At 1845 UTC, a meeting was held in a government building several thousand kilometers away from the ocean. It lasted 19 minutes. No scientists were present. One official asked, "What's the worst-case scenario?" There was a pause. Then, long-term atmospheric impact. How long? Another pause. Longer this time. Months. The room shifted slightly. Not visibly, but perceptibly. "Then we have time," someone said. No one disagreed. At 2010 UTC, a press advisory was drafted. It was not released. It described a minor oceanographic irregularity currently under observation. No impact to public safety. It was saved, archived, prepared. Layla did not see any of this. She was still at her desk, running manual calculations, without system support, without predictive tools. She wrote everything down, by hand. Rates, ratios, time intervals. The numbers did not stabilize. They tightened. The decline was no longer uneven. It was aligning across distances that should not synchronize, across systems that should not interact. At 22:03 UTC, she received a call, not through official channels, private. She answered. No introduction, no greeting, just a voice. You need to stop sending reports. Layla didn't respond immediately. Who is this? She asked. A pause. Then, someone trying to prevent unnecessary panic. That's not your decision, she said. Another pause. It is now. The line went dead. At 23:11 UTC, the 13th station reported a drop. No alert was triggered. No flag was raised. The data was recorded and buried. At 00:02 UTC, a separate system, unconnected to the primary monitoring network, registered something else. Not oxygen, not pressure, not temperature. Acoustic activity. At extreme depth. A pattern. Rhythmic. Structured. It lasted 11 seconds, then stopped. The system labeled it unclassified marine noise and archived it. At 1:30 UTC, emergency services in a coastal city received an unrelated call. A diver had surfaced prematurely, disoriented, gasping. He reported difficulty breathing, despite being above water. Paramedics noted elevated heart rate, panic response, no visible injury. They administered oxygen. His condition stabilized. The incident was logged as diving-related anxiety episode. At 2:40 UTC, 2 more stations registered acoustic patterns. Different locations, same rhythm, no alerts. At 300 UTC, oxygen levels dropped again, across all monitored depths. No alarms were triggered, no systems failed, no warnings were issued. The world above continued normally. For now. Thanks for listening to Chapter 2, Containment. If you like our show, please subscribe and share with your friends and family. And not to worry you, but patterns don't appear without reason. And this one is getting stronger. Chapter 3 is waiting. This has been a Last Echo Archive production.